Hi everyone, my name's Mrs. Oliver. Welcome to our Year 10 Information Week. I'm just going to talk you through exactly what the agenda is for the week. So right now I'm going to be talking to you about the work experience placement offer that we offer to Year 10s. Tomorrow Mr. Shippey is going to be talking about the Duke of Edinburgh Bronze Award. On Wednesday we have Mr. Smith, who is going to be talking to you about preparing for examinations, and then on Thursday it will be Mr. Noble, who will be talking about life in the sixth form and all that entails. So to start off with, let's think about work experience. I want you to think back to when you were at school and the career advice that you were given, or maybe not given in my case. Did you have the chance to complete any work experience? Did you enjoy it? Did you find it beneficial? I know that mine was quite shocking, to say the least. We didn't really have much guidance in terms of careers or post-16 options. But when it came to work experience, I just remember the head of year putting up 4 pieces of A3 paper onto the wall with a list of different placements on there, and told us that it was a first come, first served basis, and we just had to sign our name up on this sheet. So by the time I managed to get there, there were, I think, 3 or 4 places left. And I ended up doing something that I had absolutely no interest in. So I'm hoping that the experience that your child is going to have is completely different to the one that I experienced way back when. So if I just talk you through exactly about our careers education programme at the Reach Free School, which we are quite proud of actually, when we compare it to other local schools. So this begins in Year 7 and continues throughout their secondary school life. The sessions mainly take place during community common room lessons, so CCR lessons, where they complete various projects. So recently we've done the young apprentice, and also lessons throughout their reach time. In Year 8, it continues during their CCR projects and reach time. There is a Year 8 Enterprise Day that all pupils take part of. And then we have various STEM sessions. And as I said before, the CCR projects. In Year 9, that's when we kind of come into our own really, and we really dig a little deeper in terms of career education, and we start discussing about apprenticeships. We start looking at post-16 options. We look at university life and beyond that. We also organise a careers fair that all the Year 9s help to organise, and then they have a day where they are off timetable. They end up networking with various businesses that have come in and volunteered their time, and have a day of various workshops that are led by Services for Young People, which used to be Youth Connections. Year 10, they obviously had an opportunity to attend this year's careers fair, which was really great because last year, as you may know, we had to cancel it. So it was really good that they had that opportunity this year. Services for Young People, they come in and lead interviews, so individual interviews with each and every one of the Year 10 pupils. We've set up mock interviews with the Year 10s as well. We have the Duke of Edinburgh Award, where everyone's encouraged to take part in some sort of volunteering work, and then obviously we have their work experience placement, which is what I will be talking about today. Year 11, they have 3 career days throughout the year, which are led by Watford Football Club. That covers topics such as independent living, self-employment, writing personal and supporting statements when you're applying for college and university, and completing a skills assessment. And then in the sixth form, we have university guidance, so talking about the application process, more advice on apprenticeships, and then we'll have some keynote speakers that will come in and talk to the pupils. So in terms of work experience then, it's incredibly beneficial for our pupils to take part in it. It gives them the opportunity to use and apply their skills and knowledge in a working environment. It provides students with an insight into various job sectors and careers available. It really does boost their confidence. from the start of the process all the way through to when they've completed it. So not just during the week that they are there, but making contact with the placement beforehand, going for an interview, and so forth. So it really does give them a boost of confidence. It aids development of employability skills, so some call them soft skills that are required, so not only in the workplace but in life. So soft skills, that would include communication skills, just working with others, and problem solving. It provides knowledge of the local job market and then can start them on the road to building a network of business contacts. And it's an opportunity just to impress business people with in a few years' time, there might be an opportunity for them to go back to the same manager seeking employment. So it's a valuable experience to add to a student's CV and personal statement. So as mentioned a minute ago, we work with services, or we partner up with services for young people that used to be called Youth Connections. So they provide various projects and programs for young people. They give information, advice and guidance. There's lots of work-related learning, and they give a lot of support to young people aged 13 to 19. So what they do for us is they will contact employers and secure suitable placements for our pupils. They need to make sure that the employer's premises are safe for the young person to work in, and then they have an agreement regarding the working hours, the dress code, lunch arrangements, health and safety requirements, etc. So they work with the employer to produce a job description, which also includes the health and safety information. So what I will be doing with pupils is I will be giving them a PIN number, which will give them access to a website called Link2 Plus. The link is here, and I will give you a copy of this presentation so you can access that link as well. But that enables them to open this link to a website where they will then be able to search various jobs. So when they first log on, it says about completing a pre-placement survey. Now, this doesn't need to be completed until they've been given their placement details. So not to worry about that. You can still go on and look at the other icons and look at the work experience literature, the search through jobs, and so forth. So when they do go onto a search, they'll notice that there are over 130 placements that are available for them. And on there, they come under various sectors. So I'll just show you now how they should probably have a look through. So if I clicked on the one at the bottom, the social work and counselling services, it would then take me to a list of opportunities within that sector. So it would show me the organisation. It would show me the job title for working with that organisation. It shows me where they're based, the postcode, and then it gives me details. So what I would encourage you to do is just have a look at the town. If it just at first glance, you'll realise whether it's going to be easily accessible or not. And then if it is, click on view to have a look at the job description. So when you're looking at the job description, it's really important to have a read through, make note of any of the responsibilities that you think you'd feel comfortable with, or any that you would like to have a chat about. So, pupils can come and have a chat to me about it if they're unsure about what any of the responsibilities mean. And it's important to decide whether it's the right job for you for that week. Is it in the right location? Is it easy for the people to get to? Can they make their own way there? Can they walk there? Is it easy for public transport? Would they need to get a lift every day? And is that viable as well? And then, are you still interested? If you are still interested, then you add to selections. And it's important to make sure that you add at least 4 to 6 different placements when you're making your selections. And then once you've done that, it's important to go to look at your placement details, have a look at your job list, and then rank them in order of preference. So when when the placements are allocated to pupils, the website does this, but it does try to ensure that pupils are given one of their top choices. So it's important to make sure that your choices are ranked. If they're not, then you will get hopefully one of those choices, one of those 4 to 6 choices that you have made, but it may not necessarily be your first choice. You can, of course, find your own work placements, and we really do encourage pupils to do that. It's a great way for securing opportunity in exactly what the pupils want to do. Employers would need to comply with certain criteria in order to be passed as suitable work experience placements. So, for example, the health and safety measures are in place, and services for young people will do that. They complete the checks there. So once the own placement form is complete, we then upload the details, and services for young people do all the checks and make sure that that's okay. And then they give us either the yes, that it can go ahead, or the no if we need to maybe contact you to have a discussion about it. And again, it's important to make sure that the student can, or that the pupil can, travel to that employer. So I will have a work experience form, a finding your own work experience form that I'll have a load in my office that pupils can come and collect. I will give some out to the Year 10 form tutors as well, so they can hand them out. And when I'm doing the introduction to pupils, I will talk to them about this as well and try and encourage it as much as I can. There will be a deadline for completing the forms, and that will be Friday the 11th of March. Now that will just mean that it gives me time to put it up on the system, and for services for young people to do their due diligence in terms of going to the employer, having a look around the site, speaking to them, and coming up with the job description. So once they have been placed, all pupils will receive an information pack, and that will include a consent form, a medical form, and the job description. And it's important that we have all of those back from you to make sure that we know that you've read them through, that you do give consent for your child to go on the work experience week. And if there is anything that we need to make adjustments for, then obviously we can try and put that in place to make sure that the placement is successful. The next steps would be that the pupil needs to make contact to introduce themselves and discuss the next steps with the employer. And that may very well be that the employer would like to have an interview with them. I mean, recently, it may be the fact that it might be an online interview. It may very well be a face-to-face interview. And we do encourage that to be taking place after school or at weekends or during May half term, before the a couple of weeks before the placement begins. And then, of course, it's really important to plan their journey. So maybe do a practice walk from their home to the placement, or travel with them on the bus or on the train, and just make sure that they're able to get to their placement by themselves. So these are a few things that the employer will expect from our pupils. Obviously being ready to work and to work safely. So they've got to think about maybe their dress code, making sure that they are dressing formally for their work experience. There may be a requirement to wear certain clothes, and some employers will give that as well, will provide that to the students. Timekeeping, obviously making sure that if the pupils are punctual, on time to their work experience placement. If there are any issues, they tend to call us and speak to us, and then we would then speak to you guys and try and work together to make sure that we kind of get the student in and make sure it's a successful week for them. Obviously following instructions, and if they are unsure about anything, asking questions, which I know at the start of the week they may be a little timid to do, but hopefully during the week their confidence will increase and they'll kind of come into their own. asking questions and showing an interest. So discussing various roles within the work placement. And then if they have any concerns, then to discuss that straight away with their supervisor. I do hope you found that useful. I will be speaking to all year 10 pupils and talking through this process with them again face to face, showing them the own placement form, showing them the website, getting them all logged on, getting them used to it. So hopefully they'll come home and be able to kind of go through this with you and show it to you as well. But please feel free if you've got any questions. There is a Google form that is in the email that was sent out with this video. The presentation will be there as well. Please complete the Google form. Any questions, add it to that, and I will answer as best as I can. Thanks very much for listening. Take care.